What's up, guys? This is Black Hollywood Live, and we are here with special guest Sharonis J. Jackson. Tune in. We start here. Hey. Clearly not a friend. Clearly not a friend. What's up, y'all? We have Dro, also known as Sharonis J. Jackson, in the building. My name is Mariel Turner. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mariel_Turner. Sharonis, what's up? Where can we find you?
Twitter and Instagram is at RonJay, RONEJAE, and that's on Twitter and Instagram, RonJay.
All right. And I'm Ashley Allen, and you can find me on all social media at Ashley Reed Allen.
And what's up, guys? I'm Christine Alexis, so you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Christine Bean with 3 E's.
Okay, y'all. So this episode, I mean,
Let's get into it.
It got crazy. That ending was real special for you. We are going to get into all of that. But we're going to start with Issa and Daniel because that is how the episode opened up.
Absolutely, yeah.
And when we left them, they were at the table, right? Enjoying a meal, kind of rekindling maybe.
Being real friendly.
Real friendly.
Yes.
And we open up to Issa at the door doing like a kind of course, like her character, like an awkward.
Crazy.
I love her so much. Yes. Oh my God.
Right? And we see that they're kind of started getting it in again, I guess, is what's happening here. So
I didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Yeah.
Why not, though? I wonder. I've seen people say that. I wonder why not, though.
Because I felt like he would have been a little bit more hesitant to just jump right back into it with her.
I feel, okay, so I definitely think that's a strong woman's perspective. Because from a man's perspective, come on, I know what this is, and now, like, so, especially with them at Kiss and Grind saying, look, we ain't even got to go there.
Right.
So as soon as they hang out next time one-on-one after that conversation was had, I knew it was going to, like, I knew it was up.
Oh, really?
See, I get that perspective, but I also know men can be prideful, and considering how... Like, I know Issa apologized, but part of me still felt like inside, like, Daniel might be just holding animosity towards her for how it went down, and for that reason, keep her at arm's length and just keep it super cash.
Because there's two sides of being prideful, though. So there's that, but there's the pride. Okay, so I'm going to just give you, like...
Go into it, yeah. We want to hear perspective.
That's why we're here. We need the male voice.
Yeah, actually,
we want the male voice.
We need the male perspective, please.
Let's go.
Like, at some point... You know, I believe there's guys, you know, you have good men, and Daniel is a good man to me, right? And then you have guys who are savage, who aren't really good guys to me or something like that. Like Chad's close to that. He leans towards that way, right? His thoughts, even though he's living a better life now, he still lives vicariously through, like, Lawrence's wholeness or something like that.
Right.
So, but then there's good men who have a good balance, and I think these are the guys that really win the most when they have a good balance of they're a good man and they have their savage moments, though, like know when to turn it on. And when I was gonna tell you where the pride could come in on two different ways is, he can step on to keep her at bay, or there's like, okay, now you come back, I'm about to get you.
Really?
I'm gonna show you how you fucked up now. This first
That's true. That's true.
It's gonna be something. But like, you know, he can talk all that shit and everything when it's happening. So that's kind of where I could get, especially, man, look, he a producer. Look, man, they
that's true.
You know, they still got they egos to
yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're right. The stroking of the ego. Although I feel like in this episode we see later maybe he's
He's feeling.
Like I say, he's still a good man with just savage moments, is what I say. He's not savage, he's a good man. That's why I'm saying.
If he didn't care, he wouldn't have offered to come pick her up.
He didn't ask no
That's
questions.
True.
He was like, I'm coming, where you at? No questions asked.
Exactly. There's history there. Like, you know, we got to know they did grow up together, and they had their moments where they thought about, you know, you see him, man, back in season 1, he's like, why didn't we ever go that route? Boom, boom, boom. Like, so there is history there, and that's always dangerous, as we'll see as we talk about other topics as well.
Right. Exactly. So while we have Issa and Daniels, you know, they're watching a show within the show, Due North, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ben and Natasha. They wrote that, and they came up with that, and it started from my understanding, and my Insecure fan could correct me if I'm wrong, but from my understanding, it was a joke in the writer's room.
Really?
And then it became, because each season, you know, like last season it was Conjugal Visits.
Right.
That was
Right.
the reality show and stuff like that. And so Natasha and Ben, man, they kill me. And I don't know, I hope, there's some stuff I saw, I hope makes the season. And there was some real hilarious stuff. So, like, shout out to Natasha and Ben, because they really killed that Due North stuff. It's so hilarious.
That's
so random.
Gina.
Hilarious. Okay, so while this is going on, we have Molly in Chicago, and she's talking to Lil Rel. Shout out to him. He did great.
Shout out to Lil Rel. And I don't appreciate y'all trying to, you know, take a stab at my Bears. They do. They do suck. They do
It's not personal.
But
I would too. I feel you. Yeah, I would too. I'm an
ride
Eagles
or
fan.
die.
I'm an Eagles fan. I you know, like I got Philly roots. My pops was born and raised there. I was born there. So I definitely. It stings. Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts, but it's okay.
Right. So Lil Rel's there. He's guest starring, and he tells her, you know, don't really sell yourself short. You have a lot of opportunity. You don't really have to put up with this at your firm, making less than your white coworkers. And Molly, it seems like, of course, like her character kind of is like, nah, I'm focused. Like, I'm gonna figure this out here because I put in all of these years. Which, I mean, I guess you can't really, you can't really fault her for that.
That could be a prideful thing too.
Yeah, I think that's Molly just being the strong black woman that she is. She has her ways of coping with probably being the only black face in a lot of white spaces. That's why she has her Solange album on repeat, and she's really like, she's just like, I can't deal with y'all. Like, I'm trying to, you know, she's trying to do her thing and really kill it out in LA. She doesn't want to just, I guess, go to somewhere that would be more comfortable for her, which is what Laurel's suggesting.
Right.
Which is why I love Molly. Like, she just doesn't care. She's gonna do her.
She's strong. I mean, and she. That character, I mean, the work she's put in, she deserves and earns that.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I do get Lil Rel talent because a part of me is just like, you know, it would be nice to be around your people more. I'll just be honest. I'm just more comfortable around my folk. Like,
I agree.
Yeah.
You don't gotta watch what you say. You gotta be worried about being to this or to that.
Right.
And Chicago's not a bad town at all. That's a great city too. So you know that could be a smoother transition, especially like visiting like. You know, a flight from Chicago to New York or to LA is really not that bad. You know what I mean?
It's like a midway point.
It's an hour and
so,
15.
But to put all that time in, it's like, you know, at some point you just like, oh nah, like I'm gonna get what I deserve.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Get hers.
I do. Yeah. I respect that because honestly, if that was me in that situation, I would be trying to fight for what's mine too. Like you've already put in the work, you've already put in those years. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna make you respect me. I'm not just gonna back down. So I respect that about
Absolutely.
Molly.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So we have Lawrence. He's at jury duty, right?
Right.
While, you know, the rest of the characters doing their thing, Lawrence is at jury duty. Scrolling through Facebook board like a lot of us do. He sees Kelly on there. And he sees in the back of a picture in Kelly's profile, we have Issa and Daniel smiling, kikiing in the background.
You hit that zoom
And
real
then
hard.
Lawrence is like, what? What is this? And that leads him straight to Daniel's page, which, I mean, have y'all creeped on the new bae before? Do you have that experience?
I want to say I've never maybe like a new bae. I've never really done that. I might have seen like go to like her page to make sure there isn't somebody on hers. You know what I mean? I might have done that. And if I like maybe in the comments, like if I seen somewhere it seemed like too friendly, whatever you click, but like nothing where like I scroll through, I just would see just to be like, no, okay, you know, whatever.
So just kind of
like,
notice it.
I kind of notice. I could never be like what Issa's done in this season and what Lawrence is doing. I can't invest, like, I'm very particular about where I put my energy into.
Right.
And I can't do that. I feel more people should be like that. And it's like, I can't give that because that's only going to put me on a spiral, like, and keep me in somewhere where I don't want to be longer than I should. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
he's there
Lawrence.
on Facebook.
Yes. That's exactly where he's at right now.
I think that's so relatable though, because you said that Issa did the same thing with Tasha, and she was looking at her profile, she was looking through her pics.
Hard.
She was me. Like I was like, girl, you forgot to do this and switch to your other profile so that you can see what other things are private. Like I know that's why this show gets me. It's so relatable because you're right. You shouldn't. It's a thought process you shouldn't go down. but you can't help it.
You know, I mean, look, it's human emotions, you know.
Yeah.
And so when your emotions are tied into someone so much, it's,
that you love.
sometimes you just can't help where it takes you, you know.
And I'm glad that they went there to show that that's not a woman trait. Like everybody, everybody
Exactly.
at some point does
Yeah,
that.
man.
Because men,
Guys do that.
I'm sorry, men, Lawrence Hive, whoever, will sit here,
This one.
right, and say that they have never done it.
Lies.
You may not do it all the time in every relationship, but you've done it
You've
before.
done it. Lies. Guys have done it even with a girl they have their eye on not messing with, and like would see like, oh man, hold on, she messing with this dude, and then go see, you know, whatever. I've seen guys do that, you know what I mean? And like I say, even though I won't go like as deep into it, I have done it where I've seen something, seen friendly comments, clicked just to see a general thing, and then that's it. But I still went there, you know what I mean? So. You know,
so why do men be fronting them? Like they don't creep on their girls' Instagram, their girls' little boo's Instagram. Why?
I think, you know, my personal belief, I think it's just to have the hold on that's a woman thing. And to keep it a woman thing, because once you do it, it's kind of like a female trait, or in a way, or it's kind of like soft or too sensitive. You care too much for some reason, and like that's a old ass vintage barbaric caveman way of thinking.
Exactly.
Like, bro, we sensitive. Men are very sensitive. We emotional. You might as well embrace that.
It's also 2017. Like, it's their social media. Had he not been like scrolling, I mean, he was gonna run into that information anyway. You know, you stumble on stuff that you may not want to see, but it's there. Like, you're gonna see it.
But I do, you know, I don't fault him at all for like, listen, if you're scrolling and then you see your ex with the person she cheated on you with.
Yeah, I can see why you might be like,
yo, like I know I have no right now, but damn, like, you know what I mean? And so, you know, because then that puts other thoughts in your head. How long was that going for? Blah, blah, blah. You know?
That's exactly where his thought process was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly where it went. Oh,
Let's see what the people in the chat.
Yeah, let's bring up the chat.
And see what they have to say.
What they gotta say.
And you could see, I mean, just the fact he got so distracted. The judge was like, "You're dismissed. You don't have to be on jury duty." And he was just scrolling, like, in his own world.
I don't know if you like even caught that, but I was really like when he got excused, just because being in that situation before, I was like, man, that's good luck for him. Like he got excused from jury duty, because y'all ever done jury duty?
Yeah,
I've gotten excused.
I've never done it, but I have been summoned a few times. But the perfect thing was, like, since I played ball overseas, I was always out of town, and I played ball. And they're very forgiving to athletes when it comes to jury duty. I'm in China right now, man.
But were you even really in China?
Man, I was in LA.
Right? Ball.
I was in Studio City.
Melissa says, "Hey guys, hey girl, what's up?"
What up, Melissa?
Hey.
So we're gonna get into when you come onto the scene, right, in this episode.
Right.
So Molly's, you know, getting stuff ready for this 35th vow renewal.
Right.
And she goes to her parents' house, and before she goes inside, Dro, your character, comes up, and y'all, of course, have to have a conversation about what went down at Kiss and Grind.
Right.
And she's like, oh, you know, you were drunk, and you hit her with the, I wasn't that drunk.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay. I see you out here. So I want to ask you, playing this character, do you feel like he's really always had this genuine interest in Molly, or is this something that kind of just sprung up over time?
I think there's a mixture where it was always innocent flirtation, and Molly's character had brought up that they kissed in middle school. So that's, you know, puppy love type of thing there. And then what I would say, what having that little history and then being raised and stuff, and you see Molly speaking Spanish with the father. Shout out to Carlos Carrasco, who is also Panameño, Viva Panama.
Hey.
Panama in the house.
Spanish up in here.
So, like, with her, you know, you see her speaking Spanish to him. You know, he's comfortable speaking Spanish because he knows since she was a little girl and everything. I think that history there does amplify, and then they get older, and you know, you spend so much time away sometimes from people,
right?
And then you run into somebody, and then you see that, you know, they still or even got more fine or finer, and then there's like, look at such and such, man. Her head used to be big as hell. You know what I mean? And you just have this whole like thing, and then and also I think even though it wasn't necessarily in a, like like a main thought at first. Everything sparked at the kissing ground because there was a mutual spark. You know, people keep talking like as if Dro pursued this, but if everybody remembers, he was pointing out people. What about my man? What about my man?
That's a good point.
He was pointing them out, and she was like, nah. The song came on. Oh, this used to be your shit. Blah blah blah. What do you mean? What? Started dancing and everything.
Right.
That's a good point.
And she turned around and started backing up on my man. First of all,
slow motion.
Like, listen, I didn't know what to do with it.
Wait, it wasn't my fault.
He's a hot-blooded man. You know what you want to do. And then they start dancing, and then what happens, you know, they start that slow motion catch, you know, that catches people.
Trouble.
And then they looked at each other. There was a spark, boom.
Yes.
And then it was a mutual thing, you know. And then so he felt the need to I'm allowing this moment to live because I'm in this situation.
Right.
You know, because he they are friends first of all, so he cares about her. He's known her since he was a child. He cares about her. You can't escape that. He cares about her. So I definitely think it's, you know, a mixture of history and then that spark that happened, that kiss and grind that's led to where we are now.
Right.
And when you're in a situation like this, I think the relationship between Dro and Molly is a prime example of, like you said, when you grow up with someone, you connect with them later in life, and then it's kind of like that what if situation. Right. And that can be a very dangerous
Which is what happened with Issa and Daniel.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that, you know, that's why I could, you know, even though I'm an ambassador of, Lawrence Hive.
Oh, Jesus.
Surprised you didn't have a T-shirt on.
I have one. Did you hear?
I heard.
Talk about, I got her
on
one?
your wind down.
So
I heard about that.
I got myself one too. I wore it to set that because it was my last day on set. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
So I was like, I gotta wear it, and it's I saw this meme, and it starts with Jay Ellis, Lawrence. And then, as you know, does 4 boxes, right? And it keeps blending until he's 21 Savage.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
That's my favorite. I should have worn that joint. But that's my favorite joint. But like I was going to say, I really, if you could blend Daniel and Lawrence, that'd be the person I really connect, because I connect with both of them really well. And so what happened with Issa and Daniel and stuff like that, I could see, him not having he has no obligation towards Lawrence in the first season.
That's true.
At the end of the day, look, I know you. I don't know your man, don't know what he look like, nothing.
That's real.
And you here, and you're catching what I'm throwing. And I am too. So, I get, you try to respect it as much as possible, but if girl's not respecting it as much. What do you want me to do?
Why do I need to do it?
I'm not about to be the good man for you, or for him, you know what I mean? So that's why I can understand that process, what I'm saying. So
I think one of the questions that I know we played with last episode, and I'm sure some of the viewers is Dro and his wife, is it really an open marriage, or are you just saying that?
Right. That was the question. And someone in the chat says, where is wifey? She went MIA. So what's the deal? What's going on?
She's at a bachelorette party in Cabo. So she's doing her thing. Because think about it, people are like, oh, she's conveniently, as if, first of all, if Dro, he went up the night before the wedding, renewals, right? So he's with his parents, you know what I mean? And then he stays a night there, and then he, spends a whole, she knows, she's gonna know where he's at. He what's he gonna lie about where he's at? On top of my parents not gonna lie for me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
True.
Especially to my wife, you know what I mean? They're not gonna lie to me. She knows where I'm at. And she knows Molly good enough to where if she was available, she would have been at her parents', renewals, you know what I mean?
Right.
But she wasn't. She's in Cabo. Who knows what she's doing, you know what I mean? Doesn't mind Dro none, because
he looks unbothered completely.
He's telling you, look, she's that, she lives her own life. She's a grown woman, this is how the agreement that he's saying that they have, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
And for the viewers, if you're looking for me to confirm if it's true or not, you're not gonna get that here. Or I need to keep you guys around watching, you know what I mean? So
look, we have
definitely want to keep watching.
Queen K in the chat. She said at a bachelor party she gave him the side eye.
She also says no.
So where do y'all
think
she is? That's my question. Where do you
probably
think
was
wifey is? At home?
She needs to be with her husband. That's what she needs to be, because clearly.
I feel like as viewers, like we haven't met her yet to the point where we can connect with her and maybe feel bad for her in this equation. Right. We're all just looking at Dro and like what he's doing and the moves that he's making. But like you're right, she's out of the picture. She could be doing her own thing. And I feel like maybe if as viewers we saw you guys in action. Being comfortable in that open relationship and getting that confirmation, I think a lot more people would be open to a situation with Molly.
Right. Well,
it's just so unknown right now.
Right. Yeah. Because
it's just your word.
I also tell this to people, I'm like, well, like as far as like my friends and stuff like that, because I don't tell them anything. They have these debates with me. I'm like, look, so you've seen me 2 weeks in a row without my wife. The thing is, look, I'm married to a black woman. You know what I mean? If she wanted to be there with me, my wife would be there with me. Black women don't play that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not about to be like, no, keep your ass at home. She's about to be like, excuse me? You see, she was in a sorority, too. Like, she's an educated woman.
True.
Just, if you look at the breadcrumbs, you know, she would be there with me. You know what I mean? That's how, reading these scripts, that's how I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, sense. You know, because I have to, you know, connect with my character as much as possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. In the chat, we have someone saying, starting to love Dro, but I have a feeling that I might regret it. I think he might hurt Molly later on, which I 100% agree with.
Okay. No, these are all fair assessments. They're really all fair assessments. Everything is nothing really wrong as of now because everything is just a theory. So you got to keep watching.
Right?
As of now.
As of now.
You kind of let something slip earlier about it being your last day on set at one point. So
I didn't tell you what episode it was, and it was like my last. I just told it was my last day for this. You know.
And they don't film in order either.
There's, you know.
Like, are you going to be around?
Look, I got your back. They don't film all the episodes in sequence. So
you jumping around.
Right.
Okay,
insider knowledge. Okay, so we're going to get back to this episode, y'all. Okay, so Dro's like, what's going on? She's like, yeah, I thought about it, but you're married. You know, I'm going to let you do your married thing. He's like, cool.
He's very respectful.
Very respectful.
I like that about Dro.
Right.
That you're respectful. You're not trying to push it on her.
Right.
It's up to her whether she wants to do it or not.
Absolutely.
Right. So they say, you know, we're good. We're going to remain friends. And then we go and we actually meet Molly's parents and her brothers, which I think gives a great idea of why she's craving this, like, quintessential amazing black love that
see their great family that they have.
Yeah.
Loving family. And man, shout out to the brothers, because those are my boys.
Oh yeah.
Malcolm Kelly, who was in Detroit. Y'all need to go see that.
Oh, I saw Detroit.
You did?
Yeah, it was
so
fun.
yeah, he was a brother in the court going off.
Yeah.
He played the little brother. And then my man Richie Loco, who was one of my best friends and writing partners, he got on the show and we got to work together that same day. So like shout out to them, because those are my boys.
Yeah, that's
great. It's great.
I'm loving all the black community on the show.
It's amazing.
So tight as a family. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, that's what Dominique said. You said it's like a family.
Yeah,
she was on the show not too long ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we cut to Issa, right? And she's like, I'm getting my hotation on, team ho out here, which just does not, we say this every week, does not fit her character.
I cringe every time she does that.
Water.
Like,
so thirsty.
But that's why I love it so much, because with her, it's like, you know, we would think a woman like that. Well, first of all, shout out for this show and the writing, because this type of character usually, let's be honest, a white person would play.
Yeah.
You know, the quirkiness, the awkwardness, you know, we're always supposed to, there's like this aphrodisiac with black people, we're always strong.
And
this,
cool.
you know, cool and shit like that, you know. So for her, like, to be a real human that we all are connecting with, like, you know, I love that, because you wouldn't expect that from her. And the way she's playing it is hilarious. She kills it every time.
So awkward. So she's on this date with Nico, who is her one of her Tinder boos in the hotation, right?
See, bitch.
And I'm like, Lord. And then this whole like Latino.
No, she said,
I was
dead. I'm like,
Really
Issa, get out.
I was like, oh, Jesus.
Oh my gosh. So
But like these conversations is just so real, right? Like
It is the best lines. Like, how does she deliver that with a straight face? Because I would have been dying.
Did that take multiple takes?
So good. You know? For when they're doing, I mean, you know, of course you're gonna do multiple takes. Well, first of all, for coverage, you gotta get all these angles. But you know, when you get it, you get it. But you just, because of those lines where you say, like, you know, when she's talking about the, you know, extra on the whore or whatever, stuff like that. They throw those. They give you ad libs, and you try this, you try that, just something funny. And like, you know, some of the best people that are doing that are like Natasha. She's amazing at that. Neil Brown, who plays Chad, is amazing at that. And then when Lil Rel said, like, you know, I'm slim thick, you know, I got
somebody.
He's hilarious.
Oh, that was an ad-lib.
He's like, I gotta pass about that.
I know. I was like that.
They let you do your thing. So yeah, shout out to them. I love them.
I think that's
great.
how y'all capture like how authentic it is.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You get people who know how to do that and hone that in. You know, they're not too much, so it's good.
Yeah.
So Issa's on this date. She's doing her awkward raps.
Yep.
And it looks like they're kind of having a little bit of a connection. They stay there until midnight, which is pretty damn late for a first date.
Right.
And Issa on the hotation is like, so after this, what's going on? And he kind of hits her with the, I have an early flight, which
My man.
Which I thought was like,
She was trying to fuck.
But you know
Right.
what?
Honestly.
But let's not forget, she did text Daniel when she first got there.
Because she
She
wasn't
did.
sure. You saw the uneasy.
She wasn't sure.
That's like security blanket too.
course.
Which I was like, man, you gotta watch out.
She
there.
really
Back up, babe.
Don't be that security blanket.
Don't
man.
be that.
yeah.
I wanna be the comforter. Not
I want to be the
that.
hashtag comforter. I'll make that go viral, y'all.
Right.
Okay, so she's like, cool, we'll meet up again. And that seems to be going well, so maybe that might go somewhere. Probably not. I don't really see it going anywhere, but
I think he's gonna shut it
I-
down.
yeah.
I honestly think the fact that she's dating a Latino guy now I predict it's going to be some sort of foreshadowing since she's having trouble at work with Black and Latino kids. Maybe he's going to teach her something
assessment.
about being with someone else of a different race, and maybe she'll understand something else.
Yeah, that's
the
a
only
good
reason I
thought.
can think of.
That's a great assessment. No, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's great. And you know, and I'm first of all, you know, me being mixed with, you know, Latino I was happy to see. I was like, man, we sprinkling Latino in here.
Yeah, no, it's everywhere. I love that.
Because that's how
Everywhere.
California is. There's a lot of
Yeah.
Latinos
Yes.
out here.
Well, yeah, especially
So-
where I grew up, like half of my friends are Puerto Rican, Dominican.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
have everything.
Right, yeah.
Right.
We all brown, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. You know what I mean? So, and then, you know, being a lot of people don't know, like my mother was born in Panama, so, but you know, it's Afro-Latinos. Like Panama is
Exactly.
based, there's so many Black people there.
Right.
Like, we all are really like, if we go down there, they'll look at us like real like light skin, everybody, all of us, like y'all real light, you know what I mean? It's just like, so, but for them to kind of touch on all that is great. And have someone like, the character Frida, Lisa Joyce, voice and stuff like that. I like the
Right.
balancing of showing perspectives and stuff. And she's great, so
Exactly.
shout out to her too.
Yes.
And I did have a question about that scene for the panel, because she was kind of like implying that Black people can be racist, and he was
Right.
like, Black people can be racist.
Right.
And do you feel like in that setting, he is being racist towards Latinos? Is that even
The principal
possible?
or Issa?
The principal.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, well, in one of the rare occasions, he actually is being racist. In one of the rare occasions. Now, this is just gonna sound bad. Don't care. It's like you, as Black people, you're a little like forgiving just because of the bullshit we've gone through for so long. So you're a little forgiving, but then it's not. It doesn't feel good that it's happened to another group of minorities. If this was white kids, it'd be different. You know what I mean? Because you'd be like,
They had to come in.
yeah, right. But then it's other Latinos, so you're just like, oh man. So I fully feel Frida, the character Frida, because you know, it's bothering her. Now she gets a little bit more trouble. It might be a little guilty conscience. I don't know, like from just her ancestors seeping in her. But like, it's just like, you know, I do agree with her though, and I'm a little surprised that Issa's character is not a little bit more sympathetic, but I see her being a little bit bothered by now that she sees a frustration through Frida's character. So that's what's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree that I'm surprised she's not more like, let's try to get them involved.
Right.
Let's try to find a way to kind of incorporate the Latino students more.
Right.
Racist? I don't know. That's tricky.
Because he's in a position,
He's
or
being
technically
racist.
he's in a
Of
position
power.
to like, you know, manipulate some stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you can look at it that way, maybe on a small scale.
It's a
that could
very
be
small scale, that's
like
what I'm
some
saying.
sort of
Yeah.
racism.
It's very small scale.
But I look at it more as like prejudice, because the way I define racism,
Fully.
like that's systematic oppression. That's something
Absolutely.
that's infiltrated power
Absolutely.
structures.
Absolutely.
That's something that stops Black men from walking down the street without being questioned. That's something
Absolutely.
that stops people from getting a job. It's
Yeah.
something to me that's a bigger ideology.
Yeah.
Affects your life.
That
In
that
a
can
classroom.
dramatically affect your life. Whereas in this situation, I think it's more of like a prejudice. Like you're stopping another minority from getting that opportunity,
Right.
but it's not from a place of power. 'Cause
Right.
they're all Black, they're all minorities. There's something within them. I think Frida, outside looking in, is having trouble
That's what I
understanding
said.
that
Yeah,
because
'cause she doesn't know that
she'll never
minority
she'll never know.
Right.
No, she won't.
So
But
she can't wrap her head around it.
and even though I fully agree with you, but to play the other side of it, I think it's like, because you said some stuff, But at the end of the day, I saw a little bit, or feeling a little bit, that it is on maybe just on a very small scale though.
Yeah.
Because he is, at some point, you gotta think he is kind of bugging some random Latinos for speaking Spanish. Like,
Yeah.
He's definitely
you know what I mean?
those type
He
of
can shut him out of stuff if he wants to,
Right.
but again, it's very small scale. Now, but he is very prejudiced, very, very prejudiced.
He is.
Absolutely.
Even though that actor is hilarious.
I just like shake my head when he starts going off.
I know, it's so
You
bad.
never know what
It's
he's
so
gonna
bad.
say.
I hate when
It's
I'm
fun.
laughing at it too. I'm like,
Right?
It's low-key comedic relief. Like, you can't have a character like that
so
without...
bad.
It is.
Because he's just so absurd. You're like, why? Like, why?
And that can easily be a very heavy subject.
Right.
So
It
we
can,
kind
it
of need
can.
that balance so it doesn't get too heavy.
Yeah.
I wonder where they'll go with that, because everything low-key in this show has a teaching moment. So I'm pretty sure they're going to revisit that conversation again.
Yeah.
I think where they're going with that is actually making Black people think, like, can we actually be racist?
Racist
Like,
to other
certain
minorities.
things that you say about different people, like, where is that coming from?
Yeah, but no, at the end of the day, like you said, no, we'd have, like, maybe in 450 years we might be able to be
Right.
if we for some reason took over the world. But
I mean, we're too
like,
busy right now, still trying to
be looked
be
as human
equal.
beings.
So
Right.
So yeah.
And then we also have, some different opinions. Some people say he's ignorant. Some people say, kind of, but I
He is
understand. So it looks like people are kind of torn on that.
Yeah.
But we're going to get back into Lawrence, right? So he's talking to Derek after doing his Facebook stalking the day before. And he's like, man, was she doing this the whole relationship? Was this just a one-time thing? Kind of letting himself spiral down this hole from doing this stalking, right?
Right.
And I love this part. He calls him out and he's like, Issa cheated, but you kind of have a little bit of fault in that for sitting on the couch for 2 years, which I think is valid.
So, I love that.
I know Lawrence.
What does the Lawrence have to say
It's
about
a very
this?
light agreement. Now, hold on. I feel like, here's the thing. I fully understood what Wade. I'm sorry. Well, shout out to Wade, who plays the character Derek. Because I'm that friend who's going to tell my boys, like, I've had cousins or friends, where they did so much garbage to that girl, and then by the time their girl flapped her wings and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, bro, well, what were you expecting?
Exactly.
I'm not about to tell you,
you
like,
think?
oh man, that's fucked up. Now fuck her. I'm not about to tell you that, bro, because if I was a girl, bro, I probably would have murdered you by now. Bro, you know what I mean? So, but that's in that case. In this case, it's different because he didn't necessarily do some wrong. And I always wonder, because with people, I'm like, are they really paying attention? Because he had a lot of potential, right?
Yeah.
It started with a lot of potential. They were together, a lot of potential, and he was doing things. He's an educated Black man, which is also hard to do, to get an education as a brother.
Right.
And he was starting his own thing, then stuff went sour, right? And so, maybe he was in a depressed state. She wasn't necessarily helping that, though, because she was getting dragged down with him. And then, but the thing was, by the time she cheated, though, he was on the up again. That's where my problem lies.
But that's 2 years later.
I mean, but like, here's my thing, though.
Sharon, it's 2 years. Come on.
Yeah, no, but like, understand, because listen, at the end of the day, we are talking about a brother here, right? This in a technology world. Have you ever been to Silicon Valley? Tell me how many Black people you see when you go there. This ain't the easiest
A handful,
thing.
or less.
Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a brother I know. He was from the IE like me. He's doing a startup, up there, and we were just talking about it. I mean, there's not too many, so him even trying, because he was going out and trying, you know what I mean? On top of trying to go out and get that as a depressed man, you know what I mean? I think, if anything, the support you're going to get is going to be at home. Not saying that she didn't at the beginning, but I would have understood in the middle of that 2 years or something happened. I guess I could see her point. But when you're doing it when he was back on the rise and y'all talking about you're in this and this and that, and now he's on the rise, he has good prospects, he gets a job, boom, boom, and everything like that. Mind you, he got that spark from Tasha.
He did.
He got that spark from her because she was giving him words of encouragement. Why wasn't he getting this at home? He was getting this sappy girl who wasn't happy with her own career.
I totally understand what you're saying, but I think a part of that is in the midst of him being, on the rise, he still could have put a little bit more effort into his situation.
Right.
So if you're going to be at home, keep the house clean or do this, do that, make dinner.
Remember her
small
birthday.
Stuff, remember her birthday. Small stuff like that will make a woman be like, okay, at least he's doing something. I can put up with this. But he wasn't doing nothing.
Absolutely. Agree.
I think so too. And I think that we didn't see those 2 years. We don't know how what other things might have happened, other situations that may have come up, and how their communication and love and support for each other deteriorated to the point where now that he is on the up and up, she's already so checked out from the relationship.
It was mainly about him being down in the dumps, though. That's in those 2 years. That's why it did deteriorate, because of him being kind of being down in the dumps and down on himself.
And this doesn't excuse her. This doesn't mean that you should cheat. I'm not saying
why not break up?
But
I think they should have just broke up with him.
Yeah, she should have just broke up. He could have at least put in a little more effort that maybe would have bought him a little bit more time.
But the thing was, they didn't break up. She tried to break up earlier in the episode. You remember?
Yeah, she did.
But he was swinging things around, and that made her happy. You know what I'm saying?
And she decided to
they were staying. The relationship was getting good. I was like happy to see it. You know what I mean? And she still do it, which it does matter that she cheated on him in a studio with a producer.
Does that make it worse?
Yes.
Like what?
Oh my God! Because I know at some point
now she's a thought.
She not just a thought, but at some point throughout these years, she was a rap lyric somewhere.
Oh no!
Do that to
It's forever.
I'm just saying in the past. Just think, there's some songs where a rapper has talked about getting it in the studio with one of these hoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Now she is
true.
that. My girl is that. I probably rapped this bar at some point. Now you embarrassing me like that? You know what I'm saying? Like man, Lawrence had titties in his face with the bank teller. You know what I mean? But he still was like, I got a girl.
Man, we got the Lawrence hive
He
going.
going
Yeah, you made some good, strong arguments.
And also, let me propose this to you. Flip the situation. How mad would you be at Lawrence if he did this?
I'm very upset.
Yeah.
More upset than you are with Issa. Way more. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna answer for y'all.
She's not in the clear. Definitely not.
I know you guys know that, but you're very forgiving. If it was Lawrence, if this Insecure was flipped around and Lawrence was the main guy and it was his face on the billboards, and episode 5 came around and he cheated on Issa when she was down in the dumps, and then she was turning things around. She's on the up, and then Lawrence cheated on her. He's a dog. He's this and that. Or what's the equivalent? I guess with a stripper, whatever like that. Whatever y'all view it, or some Instagram model. Yeah, Instagram model.
That's basically Tasha.
Nah, she's a
no, she was, but like she had those pics.
Lord Jesus.
Tasha Bay, respect Bank Bay. You know what I mean?
My fault.
Shout out to Dominique Perry.
Shout out to Dominique. We love Dominique.
Yeah, she was great.
She's a real one.
And she was like, her character was very encouraging. So that's what I'm saying. If it was flipped around, I'm telling you, Twitter would have dragged Lawrence into the ground. Way harsher than what Issa has received, I'm saying.
Yes.
Because it's a normal to be men to cheat. That's why I love this show, for it to be flipped around. Because women do cheat too.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it gets you talking.
That's why I love this show.
This conversation we're having now, it's passionate.
It is. No, it is. Okay.
Uh-oh. We got somebody and it said Dro can get it.
Oh,
hello.
We're about to get into your thirst, your come up in a minute.
Dro Hive, I appreciate
Dro Hive. Let's wrap up this episode, and then we're gonna talk about how things have changed for you. Okay. So we got Molly. She's at the renewal. She brings Lionel, Sterling Kane Brown, who I love.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, introduces him to Dro. Dro's like, "What up?" You can kind of feel that like awkward, sizing each other up kind of energy going on.
Mainly from Lionel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dro's like,
Dro was like,
this is my woman.
He's like, hello, sir.
But I was shocked to see him there.
No, because he tried it with the hola, hello. Like he was so awkward.
I was so mad at that. I was like I got too method with that when I was in there. I was like, don't do that.
You can see it. You can see it on your face. Okay, so then her brother's like, hey, who is this dude? What's going on?
Right.
Molly's like, he's great on paper. He's this, he's that. I want what mom and dad have. And he's like, just because something's great on paper doesn't mean that's what's for you, which we've kind of heard before.
They had no chemistry. She didn't even know what he did when she was trying to introduce him.
That's
that was like, girl, incorrect.
So embarrassing, right?
Yeah, he tried.
You can tell he was like, "Oh, my ego."
Oh man, so.
So we have Molly's aunts roll through, and they're like, "I'm just so surprised that they made it 35 years. That's crazy. I never would have thought." And Molly's like, "What are you talking about?" And the aunts are like, "Don't worry about it."
Everybody got that big mouth.
Right. Like, come on,
I
y'all.
feel like we
just
all
keep it
have the
hush.
same families and were raised the same. It's so funny. It's just like,
Keep it low. And of course, that doesn't happen. Molly goes to her brother, and she finds out that her dad was actually cheated on her mother.
And that perfect relationship was tarnished in front of her face. Yeah.
Exactly. So she's freaking out. She's cussing. Why would you stay? Why would you cheat? And it kind of crushes her dream, right? So in her moment of need, she comes outside, and there's like this weird thing between your character and Lionel, like who's gonna make that move.
And Dro was giving him all the time to do it.
You were very respectful.
Gave him a chance, and he just sat there and didn't do anything.
And just seeing him stuck in the mud, I'm like, I got it, because at the end of the day, look, my house across the street, we've been raised together, so I'm at least gonna go after my friend.
Yeah. Of course, and Dro's character, aside from the physical attraction, like you care about her. You guys grew up together. You never want to see Molly hurt, and you made sure she knew that the last time you guys had that conversation.
Exactly.
No matter what, me and you are good.
Always be good. Exactly. That's important.
And Lionel kind of gives you like the go ahead a little, like I don't know, it was weird. He's like,
I don't do that.
Right.
He's making some excuse. If you hear it, he's kind of like, because Auntie Kiki won. If you listen, go back and listen, you'll hear him trying to make up an excuse. It's crazy.
We don't accept that.
We don't.
Like, bruh.
Oh, Sterling K. Brown. Okay, so then we have Dro. He's driving Molly. Molly's freaking out, like, I can't believe this. Like, my world is shattered. And so Dro does a respectful thing, walks her to her door. They agree to be friends. Thank you so much. You were there for me, blah, blah, blah. They part ways, right? And right before Dro goes home and Molly goes upstairs, she turns around and she gives him that look. And next scene, we have you smashing Molly. Ooh. Going out the putting in work.
Forget LaMarcus.
So
it's Dro now.
It's Dro. So how was that for you doing that scene? Did it feel awkward?
Oh, man.
This show isn't awkward.
Right.
Was that your first semi-nude?
No. Like I was fully nude, by the way. Well, besides covering up just the main important part.
Right.
But yeah, so first being nude and having like sex on screen and stuff like that. I did like a web series where we kissed on the couch and she was on top of me, I had my shirt off, but that's it. She was like getting up to leave and stuff, and we were waking up, whatever. Alluding to the night before, but I never did anything like this before in my life.
When you read that in the script, what was your initial reaction?
Good thing was I had like a month to let that resonate, right?
Okay.
And it's weird. It was like a 50-50. Like a part of me was like, ooh, okay, so like my cheek's gonna be on HBO, and that means that people gonna see this. My mama watch anything I do.
Of course.
What did mama say?
You know what? My mom tried to call me, and I didn't answer because I was getting blown up, and it was like kind of loud, whatever, like that.
Right.
And I have to I have to live tweet with the cast and stuff. Yeah. And then she texted me, and she sent me a bunch of ha 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 ha. And then she was like, "Oh my God, your little booty on screen."
She was like, "I know that ass." Right.
She was like, "Mijo, like look at you." I was just like, and my dad's like he's like one of the boys. That's my man. You know what I mean? So like it's like locker room banter. Like, you know how's today going for you? Like, my daddy from Philly. You know what I mean? He's like he's funny. So yeah, he's hilarious and stuff. Talking about his friends and him up. He get excited when his friends are like, yo, such and such. You remember him? When you were like, so. That was it was interesting, and I was really anxious for the episode to the point where so I ended up watching it by myself. I had to watch it the first go around by myself. I was at a good friend of mine's house, and he had left, and he has a really nice house, so I was tucked away in one of the rooms. Just watched it, just let it happen. I was like, okay, all right, so
it's out there,
and then. My phone was just lighting up, like I was getting texts, calls, whatever like that, and then my social media was blowing up, and I was just like, man, like it was overwhelming to the point where I kind of was just like chilling. I was just like, wow,
it's too much.
So it's out there, you know what I mean? So
yeah, because in this chat, you just missed it, but the thirst was on 10. Nice butt cheeks, Team Dro high, that light skin ass. Talking about your stroke game. I mean,
man.
So how are you dealing with all this newfound fame and thirst? And...
It's interesting on the social media aspect, right? I think Cause like, and as far as like in real life scenarios and situations, mind you, I was an athlete for a long time,
right.
And I played overseas. So
you did basketball and
the thirst was probably there from before.
I did box for a little bit, but it mainly was basketball. So it was like a different thing. Mind you, I was like in other countries and I was in Asia, but like that was crazy. But to be in America and get like this attention in America, where you're from, and we're the capital for entertainment. You know what I mean? We're the main, so everybody looks up to our stuff. And to see it from our own folks, it was. I love the appreciation for the work in the show first and foremost, because I was a fan before I joined the cast. As far as the individual love, it's fun, but where I get the most kicks out is when people making fun of me.
Oh, okay.
Because I grew up, me and my cousins and my friends, we roast each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I got called Chico Stick DeBarge.
Oh no!
Somebody was like, look, man, he's like, how Molly gonna be mad that her dad cheated like 35 years ago, and then she gonna let Al be uncertain?
Oh no! Not I'll be uncertain.
I started dying, like,
damn.
and I felt like a high school kid, because now I'm getting all the light skin jokes and stuff like that.
Of course.
Because I was like, I've never been, that was one of my pet peeves growing up, like the colorism in our culture. It's a pet peeve of mine. But when it's done cleverly, I appreciate it. It's like funny as hell, because like black people are just the funniest people on earth, and I love Black Twitter. So yeah, it's been different, but and interesting. So I'm kind of maneuvering in certain ways, because now I'm getting, recognized like every day. I've been getting recognized since basically since like last week's episode, and even episode 3, I was getting but every day now, and so I can't just be out there wondering like
I saw on your Instagram that Timberland, you ran into him and he recognized
God. You. Okay, y'all gotta understand what Timberland did for me, and my big brother, right? My big brother was in music for a little bit, and that's my big brother Marcus Jackson. I looked up. I still look up to him. I looked up to my big brother when I was younger, and he like music. My music taste from him, hooping like basketball, and we have all these hoop and basketball talks together. And he went to Clark Atlanta, so he has a very he has a variety of tastes in him. So Timberland though. And he would point this out. He's like, man, Timberland's changed the sound of music a couple times. Because think about when Pony came out, nothing was sounding like that.
Right.
And then we did his work with like Nelly Furtado. He was doing like the hip hop pop stuff. Like that. Like if you pay attention, like he's the man. And so
been a fan for a while.
Yeah, I love him. If I was ever like when I was younger wanted to do music, I wanted to work with him or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was at the Grove at the Nike store, and the first thing I recognized was like I was shopping for like soccer pants, little soccer pants, and I saw a beautiful woman, right? And I was like, I know she's taken. I don't know where I kind of seen her face before or something before, but I see her and I was like, oh, that's a beautiful woman. And then I tried to go try on these soccer pants, and it was locked. Nobody was around to let me in, so I come back out, and then I kind of seen the back of his head and her saying something. Then he turns around, and I see his face. And for the first second, I was like, I know this face. Hold on. This name not coming to me. And as he started walking up, I was like, wow. I was like, that's crazy. And he was like, yo, you in Insecure, right? And I was like, and he shakes my hand, and I'm like, Timberland's, first of all, let me recognize you, because I'm not used to this. I'm like, yeah. And he was just like talking about how he, relates, to certain stuff and how real the show is. And we're just having this conversation, people coming up. I was like, wow, that was, it was a surreal experience. So
that's a sign. You made it.
Only way is up from here. I love that the culture and the community and the industry is fans of the show. So I really love it.
And they're embracing you and your character.
Yes.
That's great. And we have people talking. So
Right. We're so excited. Thank you so much for coming in. Unfortunately, we have to wrap it up, but this has been so great.
It's been fun. It's been fun.
I wish we could talk more about Lawrence and Issa and Molly and Dro. What's up, guys? This is Mariel Turner. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mariel_Turner.
Right.
Ronas, you want to?
At Ron J, Twitter and Instagram. Show love.
Okay.
And I'm Ashley Allen. You can find me on all social media at Ashley Reed Allen.
And I'm Christine Alexis. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Christine Bean. Hit me up.
Okay. See you later,
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Ariel Christie, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Especially as black women watching her, I'm like, girl, like you're not.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.